Scoring Express for Dorico is a suite of templates to help you get professional-looking results in no time at all. Here's how to get started. Before you install Scoring Express, make sure you quit Dorico, then just run the installer for your operating system to get everything installed. If you get a warning message, it's okay to go ahead. On Mac, you might need to Control-click or right-click to bypass your computer's security settings. There are separate installers for the different Scoring Express packages, so if you have the bundle, you'll need to run each of them. Each one installs a complete suite of templates into Dorico's Project Templates folder behind the scenes, but for convenient access it also drops the templates into your Documents Scores folder. It also installs a bunch of music and text fonts, so to be on the safe side you'll want to restart your computer once the installer's completed. Now there are a few different ways to use Scoring Express. You can open any of these template files in Dorico. You'll want to save a copy straight away so as not to overwrite the original template, but if you do alter the files and you want to go back to our defaults, just run the Scoring Express installer again and it'll put things back. These templates are set up with our ideal page sizes and layout options and use tokens for title, composer, lyricist, and so on. The quickest way to start a new project is from the hub, as you can type your title and composer information straight in, set a time signature, number of bars, and key signature, all in the same place. Note that these settings are grayed out and you can't edit them here. These are actually just Dorico defaults and they won't apply to the project. But either way, once you've started, Project Info is the place to set any of your tokens. Whichever way you begin, all the score and part layouts are ready to go with our preferred settings. So if you need to change the instrumentation, we recommend you change instrument rather than creating a new player, so that the same part settings are retained. For instance, in the trio template you'll see it's scored for violin, viola and piano. To change the violin to flute, go into Setup mode, click the disclosure arrow next to the violin player, then click here and go Change Instrument. Of course, you can always add players later if you like. Once you do that, in order to roll out our settings to the new parts, you can right-click on any of the parts and click Propagate Part Formatting. Then choose one of the original part layouts in the left side and choose the new layouts in the right side. If you've added multiple players, you can shift-click a contiguous selection here, or Command or Control-click a non-contiguous selection. Before you click OK, you should uncheck this option to include system formatting. Another method is to go to the Library menu and click on the Library Manager. Click on the Dorico Project tab at the top and go to Documents, Scores and find the correct Scoring Express template. Then select Layout Options in the top left. Then select the new layout in this project and the original layout in the template project. This red symbol means there are differences. You can click each of these individually to copy settings, but I tend to just copy all the layout options across with the Layout Options button up here. If you have a Dorico project you've already been working on, it may be easiest to use the Library Manager to bring the template settings in. Again, you can work through the engraving options, layout options, page template sets, etc. in a very granular way, but we recommend you simply click this Options button and this Collections button. These will bring all Scoring Express settings in, then apply. The score layout options will already have been done, but you'll need to do this for one of the part layouts, then apply and close. And then use Propagate Part Formatting to copy the part layout options to all the other part layouts, again remembering to untick Include System Formatting. Scoring Express templates are designed to take maximum advantage of importing MIDI, Music XML and Dorico files straight into a template. To import one of these file types into your Scoring Express template, create a new project from Template. I'm doing it straight from the File menu. Then go to File, Import. If you want to bring in a Dorico project, you need the Flows option. You can import basically any file straight in, whether it has the same or different instruments. Here I'm importing a piano vocal chart into a big band template so I can arrange it later. With Dorico files and Music XML, Dorico does its best to use the existing players in the project as long as you tell it to merge players, and with MIDI files you can map players manually. And if it gets it wrong, or if you're importing instruments that don't exist in the template, Use that propagate part formatting option to set things right again, and then delete the original players from the template. When importing, you'll need to remember to delete the default Flow 1 flow from setup mode, and you may need to assign the template players to the imported flow like so. I'll just point out that with Music XML import, there are a bunch of Dorico preferences that are turned on by default. They're here. These settings are great for getting a very accurate import, but they can create all sorts of problems if you're trying to then edit the music in Dorico, so I recommend turning pretty much all of these off before you import Music XML. All of the Scoring Express templates are set up for US paper sizes, but if you're elsewhere you might be working with A or B series paper sizes, and if you're in the US you may prefer letter to 9x12. This is quite easy to fix. Go to Layout Options, Page Setup, select your part layouts, there's a Select All button at the bottom right corner, then select your paper size. You may find that knocking down the staff size a little helps, and if it's now spacing systems too widely, go into the vertical spacing section and reduce the inter-system gap. You'll then need to select your score layout and apply the same sort of tweaks separately. Aside from the many tweaks to engraving options, layout options and page templates, you'll find that Scoring Express templates use some non-standard fonts that give your scores that professional edge. Particularly in the jazz and theatre templates, if you dig into paragraph styles and font styles, you'll find new Scoring Express items in the left column. We've extensively used hierarchical styles here, so if you swap out the fonts here you'll find that various other styles change automatically. We've also introduced new font styles used automatically that make Dorico's chord symbols even clearer. And in the jazz templates you'll find that enclosed Pori rehearsal marks are used by default, and if you want matching stuff or system text, start your text with an open square bracket, end it with a closed square bracket, then use the included Pori rehearsal fonts, which come in enclosed, overlined, and underlined variants. These are just a few of the many features in Scoring Express. If you hunt around, you'll find some pleasant surprises in every corner. We hope you enjoy using Scoring Express.